Digimon World starts right off the bat with these insanely creepy kids playing Digimon with their Tamagotchi keychains.
Wow! Metal Greymon and Metal Mamemon!
We then get to start our new game. An elderly Digimon named Digimon. I think it would roughly translate to Grandpamon. And he looks the part too. He has white hair covering his eyes and a huge white beard. He walks with a walking stick and wears some rags. He starts off firing questions at us. Do you have a Digivice? Sadly, no. Never got my hands on one, but man, I always wanted one. Do you have friends? Yeah, I got my pals. Then it's naming time. I go with Potabi for myself, and for our Digimon companion, well, let's say I'm a mature adult, and I name him Butt. We then see a cutscene of us going up the elevator to our place. Our Digivice starts going haywire, making all sorts of crazy noises and flashing lights. A Digimon appears on the screen, and before we know it, we're digitized into the adventure of a lifetime. As we arrive in the digital world, Digimon gets straight to the point. Things are a mess. Digimon are losing their memories and bailing on the city. He needs our help. We're in. No questions asked. Our partner Agumon, a yellow tiny T-Rex looking Digimon, is by our side. Our first stop is the meat farm. Yep, they grow meat here. It's interesting. But hey, you can't save the world on an empty stomach. After fueling up at the meat farm, our next stop is the gym. Gotta get Agumon in shape to evolve into Monochromon. We start training and get enough stats to evolve. With enough stats under our belts, we venture out into the wild to explore. We encounter another Agumon itching for a fight. We defeat him, convincing him to join us back at File City. This marks our first successful recruitment. From here, we head out looking for Palmon, as she will increase our meat farm yields. They look like a humanoid plant kid, with a big flower as a hat and roots as feet. We find Palmon, and after beating the living bejesus out of it, it decides to join us. As we delve deeper into the forest, we stumble upon a yellow worm with a real appetite for battle. It puts up quite a fight, nearly taking us down. After a tough battle, we emerge victorious, and Kunimon decides to join our team. We head a bit south, into a beach, and encounter Kolamon, a piranha-looking Digimon. He's curious, asking if we're human, before calling his friends to help us out. He takes us to the jungle. Everything wants to kill us here. We manage to escape and come back to the newly built bridge. We make our way back to Kolamon, and he decides to join us. We start force-feeding Agumon, determined to bulk him up for his evolution into Monochromon. After what feels like forever, we finally witness a transformation. It looks like a great Triceratops, but instead of 3 horns, he has one huge one. We spend the next day grinding away at the gym. But just as we're about to embark on our search for a medic, disaster strikes. My Digimon suddenly needs to go poop, and it's urgent. Sadly, we don't make it in time to the toilet. Undeterred by the mishap, we set out to find a medic. Our journey takes us to a perilous maze, where we get shot. Despite the damage, we make it through, convincing Centaurmon to join our cause. Centaurmon looks like a half-horse and half-plated human with a knight's helmet. Back at File City, we hit the gym with newfound vigor. After our training, we set out in search for some happy mushrooms, wink wink, as we need to increase our happiness for our next evolution. Along the way, we unexpectedly encounter Betamon. He looks like an overgrown tadpole with a sick mohawk. We accidentally recruit it. Turns out our smell reminds him of the city. That's why he joins us. After a bit more searching, we finally stumble upon the happy mushroom. With our mission accomplished, we decide it's time to head back to the gym and continue our training grind. We managed to digivolve into Metal Mamemon. Which looks like, imagine a cyborg Pac-Man with Wolverine claws on one hand and Mega Man's Buster Cannon on the other. We're suddenly in need of some serious cash, so we gear up for battle. Our journey takes us deep into the ancient Dino region. There, we face a red T-Rex looking Digimon, with very sharp claws. It's called Tyrannomon. After a hard-fought victory, he reveals two special areas to us. The first is the Glacial Time Zone, where time slows to a crawl, and the second is the Speedy Time Zone, where everything moves at a breakneck pace. We collect the much needed funds. With our pockets full, we make a wise decision to return to the city and invest in recovery items. After all, staying alive in Digimon World requires more healing than a small army of doctors can provide. We head out in search of Piximon, who looks like a pink furball with wings and eyes that clearly show no sign of having a soul. It only has a 3% chance for it to appear. After cycling through the screens for what feels like an eternity, we finally encounter it. We use a ridiculous amount of healing items to stay in the fight, but we do emerge victorious, and Piximon joins our city. Afterwards, we decide to revisit the ancient Dino area in search of more recruits. Tyrannomon approaches us with a new task, to rid the area of menacing meteorites. But as we explore the bone caves, we start feeling sleepy and we find ourselves drifting off to sleep amidst the bones. We wake up to fight Meteormon, a humanoid clump of rocks, which I assume is the meteor that Tyrannomon was talking about. We stun-lock him to death and then he rolls out. Tyrannomon agrees to come with us after his master calls him useless and fires him. We stumble upon Nanimon.
NANI?
He looks like an old man, but instead of a body, his limbs are attached to his round head. He wears black sunglasses and he has a beard. He runs away, but drops a mysterious dimensional keychain. Our newfound treasure doubles our item slots. After checking our new item slots, we decide to visit the dead. Within this eerie landscape, we encounter Bakemon, a ghost whose words we can't understand. Yet, after answering his questions, he agrees to join us. As we return to town, a new challenger awaits. Greymon, another T-Rex looking Digimon, but he is yellow with blue stripes on the back. Greymon is actually a very well-known Digimon. I would say outside of Agumon, he is the face of Digimon. Determined to test our skills, he challenges us to a battle. Faced with his formidable strength, we resort to spamming our special move, a powerful attack that charges slowly during battle, as our regular attacks are not really doing damage. We emerge victorious and Greymon decides to join Vile City. Uramon, a floating ball of cotton with a purple face, mentions the existence of an invisible bridge in the Great Canyon. Later, as we head to gather our daily meat, we encounter a strange new plant. Upon inspection, we discover it's rain plant fruit. Intrigued, we decide to investigate further. Tanemon, a baby plant Digimon and the original meat distributor, directs us to the tropical jungle, where another peculiar plant has surfaced. In the tropical jungle, we locate the plant and use the rain plant fruit on it. To our surprise, it sprouts into a Vegemon. a plant Digimon with colorful leaves on its head and the body of a green potato. It joins File City out of spite. As we traverse the canyon, we finally find the invisible bridge. Crossing it, we stumble upon a store nestled on the mountainside. Inside, a Monochromon manages the store and offers us a shift. We work diligently, making decent sales, but not enough to convince him to join File City. He asks us to return, and we end up spending the night in his store. Taking advantage of the ability to save the game every time we sleep, I embark on a relentless mission to recruit Monochromon. With each attempt, I reset after every failure, to preserve my Digimon's precious lifespan. After what feels like a bajillion years, RNGesus finally smiles upon us, granting a successful run that impresses Monochromon enough to join File City. After exiting the shop, we head east and encounter a group of Goburimon, literally just goblins from fantasy stories, resulting in a 3v1 fight. Despite the odds, we easily manage to beat them. As we continue exploring, we come across a warning sign, and as we approach the cliff, it collapses. At the bottom of the canyon, we encounter an Agumon, seemingly guarding a gate. Our attempt to engage in conversation only provokes him, leading to an angry confrontation. After defeating him, he runs away, closing the gate behind him. We head to an elevator that appears to be stuck. After some investigation, we find a rock blocking it. With a little effort, we remove the obstacle, allowing us to take the elevator. We find ourselves in a frozen land, where we engage in a brief fight before deciding to leave. The Digimon feel too strong, so we opt to explore elsewhere. We stumble upon another broken elevator, but we can't repair this one, so we decide to return to File City for now. We head to a new area I haven't visited yet, called Drill Tunnel. I encounter Digimons with drill on their faces and long purple bodies. Their name? Digimon. They tell me to go away. One of them is feeling so hot that he starts a battle with us. We manage to calm him down
by force,
and he complains that it's too hot to drill. He asks if there's a way that we can find the source of all the heat. On the other side of the tunnel, we encounter another Digimon who offers to pay us for carrying the dirt he has dug up while making a tunnel. We agree and get started on the task. As we wake up, we return to the task of gathering dirt. Finally, finishing the task, Digimon completes his tunnel, but encounters a massive rock he can't drill through. He requests our assistance, and with the help of our insanely strong Metal Mamemon, we effortlessly move the rock, revealing a path to a lava cave. Inside, we encounter a Meramon, a humanoid Digimon made of fire, who is very angry and wants to destroy File Island. Using a few sandwiches of the knuckle variety and some calming conversation, we manage to soothe his anger. Eventually, he decides to join us at File City. As we head down the now cooled lava river, we encounter Digimon again, and he's already planning to dig a new tunnel. He informs us that the new path will take a few days to open, and suggests we come back later. We decide to head back to File City for a well-deserved rest. Unfortunately, the next day Metal Mamemon passes away. However, there's a glimmer of hope as Metal Mamemon will reincarnate into an egg. Presented with 4 choices, we choose the pink one. The egg quickly hatches into a Uramon, the Cotton Ballmon, and like any other baby, its first priority is hitting the gym. Uramon evolves into Tanemon, the Plant Babymon, amidst our relentless workout. The grind continues as we push Tanemon to evolve further. Soon Tanemon transforms into Palmon, the plant humanoid one. But we're not satisfied yet. Back to the gym for more intense training sessions. Determined to speed up the evolution process, we administer some Digi-steroids and continue our rigorous regimen. Palmon evolves once again, this time into Vegemon, the potato one. It's not the evolution we were expecting, but we adapt and carry on with our training. Finally, after allowing Vegemon to poop everywhere, it evolves into Piximon, the soulless looking Digimon. After a lifetime of intense training within File City, we finally set out with Piximon to explore the outside world. Our first stop is to visit Digimon, who has completed his tunnel and is ready to join File City. We venture into the new area called Mount Panorama. After 17 minutes of screen resetting to spawn another Digimon with a 3% chance, Mamemon appears, which... imagine a grey Pac-Man with boxing gloves. He insults us by calling us a chicken. He reminds me of our old Digimon, Metal Mamemon, but less edgy. After humbling him in a battle, he decides to join File City. We return to File City and visit the bridge, where we run into Ninjamon, a turnip wearing a red bandana and wielding a sword. He's aware of our growing fame and wants to test our skills. After showcasing our powers, he asks to be our disciple. We instead suggest he joins the city. He agrees and ninjutsus out of there. We wrap up the day with some training and head to rest. We head to Gear Savannah, and as soon as we arrive, we get ambushed by 2 Digimon. We defeat them easily and try to dodge as many fights as we can from now on. We encounter a Lekmon, and when we try to speak to him, he shocks us. Despite the shocks, we persist, and after enduring multiple shocks, he admires our resilience and decides to join File City. Little did he know that we're into that. While exploring, we find a huge iron gate we can't open, so we take another path. We bump into Patamon. It looks like a sideways potato with bat wings for ears. They really want to battle us, but no matter how many times we fight, Patamon feels sad because he can't win. We suggest he hangs out in File City instead. Nearby, we see Biyomon, a pink bird humanoid, with a blue striped feather in its head. They run away when we try to talk. We come up with a plan. I stay put while my Digimon chases Biyomon and surprises them into an ambush. After a few tries, it works. Turns out, Biyomon thought we were kidnappers, because lots of Digimon have gone missing. We clear things up, and Biyomon agrees to join our city. We spot a Gaburimon chasing a Patamon. They call for help, but before we can act, Leomon arrives on the scene and swiftly deals with the troublemaker, sending them packing. Leomon is a huge, buff, humanoid Digimon who wears pants and belts in his arm. Unfortunately, Leomon departs before we have a chance to talk. Continuing our exploration, we reach a new area called Trash Mountain, populated by mutant-type Digimon born from trash data. Here we encounter Getamon, a yellow poop slug, and Tsukamon, a yellow poopmon. Delving deeper into the mountain, our partner, Butt complains about the foul smell, and Tsukamon approaches us. We're surprised by the talking poop, but listen as Tsukamon warns us that living here isn't permitted, though visiting is okay. Not that we wanted to stay. Tsukamon cautions us to not anger the king, who has the power to forcibly digivolve us into something miserable. Among the trash, we spot a fishing rod. Despite the risk of tetanus, we decide to take it with us. One of the Tsukamon expresses interest in joining File City, and we agree. Talking to King Tsukamon, he informs us that we can't make requests from a king. Returning to File City, we set our sights on catching the Guardian of the Lake. We camp by the lake, but wake up too early, so we decide to run some errands. At Centermon's shop, we purchase some medicine. We go deposit some items like Digisteroids and a blue apple. And afterwards, we head to Mount Panorama. We encounter a damaged cyborg Pegasus with injured wings. It's called Unimon. We give him some medicine and advise them to head to the clinic in File City. The time for the Guardian of the Lake is approaching, so we head back. When we arrive, we start fishing and bait the Seadramon, the Guardian of the Lake, captured with some meat and a tetanus-filled hook. He asks if we have any requests, so we ask if we can be friends. He joins us. We hop on his back and he takes us to Beetle Island. We arrive at Beetle Island. There are a lot of insects here, so it lives up to the name. Our first encounter is with Tentamon, a red beetle cyborg with big green eyes and 2 yellow antennae. Tentamon tells us that they are currently between tournaments, exclusive to insect Digimon only. Our exploration leads us to a gym-like room, packed with Kuwagamons. Giant red humanoid beetles with wings, all obsessed with working out. We share a foolproof training method with one of them, convincing him to join us. Crossing to the other side of the tournament gate, we enter a room full of Kabuterimon. These blue humanoid beetles have 4 wings and wear grey helmets. One of them, visibly tired, decides to join our city after complaining of his fatigue. With 2 new beetles on our team, we head back to the canyon to recruit a very helpful bird. Once in the canyon, we cross a road where it's rumored that bandits attack. And wouldn't you know it, we get ambushed by 2 Agumon and 1 Ogremon. Ogremon looks like a green humanoid with a wooden club and a mouth that would even make Gyarados blush. We defeat them and move on. We see an elevator and decide to go up. Up there we find a nest, and Bergamon spots us walking around it. Bergamon is like a big bird made of fire, sort of like a lame version of a phoenix. It attacks us, but after defeating it, it joins our city. Bergamon mentions that we're kind of famous, considering we're the last humans on the island. It then flies us to File City. We then head to Gecko Swamp. An Otamamon, a tadpole-looking Digimon, insults us in every way he knows, so we give him a good thrashing. He runs away and calls his family of Geckomon, bipedal frogs with trumpets around their neck. They take us to their leader, a giant red frog with 2 trumpets, called Shogun Geckomon. He dismisses the case with Otamamon and mentions he's happy that we're trying to save File City. He suggests we find Cherrymon, the leader of the Misty Trees, to stop making the fog there. Shogun Geckomon puts a spell on us that allows us to see through the fog, and we embark on our quest to the Misty Trees. Here we encounter Gabumon, who looks like a bipedal dog with a horn. His tummy is yellow, and the rest of his fur is white with blue stripes. After a fight, he joins us. We head back to File City and then to Drill Tunnel. Here we find Leomon's ancestor's cave, with a cool statue of a saber-toothed Leomon. Underneath it, there's a tablet in a language we can't read. We need to find Leomon to read it. We look for him around the area we saw him last time, and he was just a little bit to the west. We approach him and he tells us he's looking for the tablet. After reading it, he tells us the tablet says to join the city. After this small detour, we head back to Misty Trees and find Cherrymon, a big animated tree with a creepy smile and leaves on its branches. He gets rid of the fog after spouting some crazy history talk. It felt like listening to your boomer uncle who is into conspiracy theories. As we're leaving the forest, we encounter Kokatorimon, a giant chicken with a black feather mohawk. This fight was a little scary because it had a lot of health, but after landing a special move, it was practically dead. It asks us what it's supposed to do now, and we tell it to come work with us at the city. Sadly, Piximon passes away after this. We choose the green dotted egg and get a Bottomon, a tiny baby Digimon with dark fur. Obviously, the first thing we do is head to the gym. This time we're trying to get a Numemon. It's a green sludge Digimon that most people would avoid, but we kinda need it. Our Bottomon soon evolves into Koromon, a ball of pink flesh with long ears. And then Koromon evolves into Agumon, the little yellow T-Rex. Agumon then evolves into Numemon, and Numemon can evolve in 2 ways. One is the normal way of getting enough stats and conditions for our Digimon to evolve. However, after 3 days of training, we didn't get enough stats to evolve, so we go with the second option, which is going to Toy Town. There, we find an empty teddy bear. Numemon slides into its back zipper and digivolves into Monzaemon, a giant yellow teddy bear with a patch on its belly. Next, we head next door and talk to Tinmon, who looks like a robot toy with a square body and a wind-up handle on its back. He mentions that an evil Waru Monzaemon kidnapped his friends, and that only a Monzaemon can defeat it. We head to where Waru Monzaemon is, and get ambushed by 3 toy Agumon. They look like someone tried to make an Agumon look-alike from toy blocks, like Legos. It's a long fight, but not a hard one. They just run around a lot, and my special move can't catch them. We have to choose between 3 doors, and whenever we get it wrong, a big pot falls on our head and damages us. We fight against 2 Tankmon, which look like humanoid lizards with tank treads as legs and tank cannon on top of their heads. These battles are taking too long, so I decide to equip more moves to deal more damage. We guess the doors again and encounter transparent toy Agumon, but we manage to dodge them and guess the correct door. We arrive at a room with 2 boxes, one small and one large, and are asked to guess which one Waru Monzaemon is hiding in. We guess correctly with the small one, and they jump out. Waru Monzaemon looks like our Monzaemon, but with dark fur, red eyes, stitches all over his body, and even Wolverine claws on one hand. We battle him to rescue Tinmon's friend, and defeat him. He gives us a gear, mentioning that it's the only thing he stole. We take the gear back to Tinmon, and it turns out it's a Hagurumon, a gear with a face. Hagurumon goes into his spot inside a little box, and then they sing us a tale about some people who wanted the island for themselves. We wonder who the bad guys were, and they give us a Monzaemon stuffed animal to take back to the city, which counts as a recruited Digimon. As we leave Toy Town and Misty Forest, we end up in Friesland and are challenged by a Garurumon, a wolf with white fur and blue stripes. After beating him, he asks us to fight him again at 4 PM, but only my Digimon is allowed to fight, without my items or commands. We keep exploring and run into Penguinmon, a penguin with long ears and sharp red claws. He invites us to play curling. This game is very hard, and every time we lose we have to give him Digi Anchovy to play again. So we resort to saving and loading. After a few tries, we get the win and recruit him. We meet a trio of Mojamon. They look like Yetis, but without torsos. Their limbs are just attached to their head, and they have cute bear ears. We trade with 2 of them, but don't have any items to trade with the third. We return to File City to see if we can buy the item the last Mojamon was looking for. We stop by Digimon's house to catch up, and he tells us about Mount Infinity, where the enemy who caused all this is located. So we won't be going there for a while, as there are still many more Digimon to recruit. As we step outside of the house, we're ambushed by an Airdramon. It even deals damage to us before the fight starts. Airdramon looks like a blue snake with a skull for a face and beaten up red bat wings. We defeat it and it collapses, so we take it to Digimon's bed to rest. We return to Mojamon with the item we thought we needed to recruit it, but it turns out they wanted all the items they asked for, not just one, so we will have to finish this recruitment later on. We return to Garurumon and let Butt kick his butt, which convinces him to join us. We head to the Ice Palace and see a statue of Angemon. It even seems to move, but finds a secret entrance underneath it, so we check it out. The design inside is very cool, like frozen white circuit boards. We have to defeat a couple of mons as we try to get through this maze. At the end, we face one more group of baddies. We then step on a light and an entity speaks to us about giving us his wings. When we return to the entrance, the statue has disappeared. Angemon appears shortly after and mentions that our mission is his duty, so he joins us. Angemon looks like a normal dude with long hair, a long blue loincloth, and 6 angel wings. We return to File City and then head to the forest. Here, we see a door on a tree. We try to approach it but are drop kicked by a monkey wearing shades and holding a microphone. Edemon deals a lot of damage, but we deal more, convincing him to join the city. We stop by the diner region to buy some moldy meat and also collect the items that Mojamon was looking for. We end up in the canyon and press down on the elevator this time. We go to the gate, which was previously closed on our face. There, we fight against Ogremon and his gang of Agumon. After being defeated, they use a smoke bomb to run away. We follow him out but lose his track. As we're looking for him, we hear a Digimon cry out for help. It's a pink colored Digimon with a big shell it drags. It mentions that the ground suddenly rose up and took him up. My guess is it was the elevator Ogremon used to escape. So we take the elevator back down, we return to Shellmon, and they decide to join the city, saying we could use a know-it-all. In the city, we check Shellmon's bulletin board, and it talks about alien markings. We get curious and go check them out. Vaidmon, an alien, big-brained humanoid with a ray gun floating in a little saucer, appears and just decides to join us. With all the items collected, we head back to Mojamon and they also join us. Nearby, there's a melting glacier where we find Wamon, a huge whale with a cyborg head. He asks for our help as some meanies took over his cave. Inside, we meet Ogremon again. We battle them once more, defeat them, and they run away in a submarine, giving Wamon his cave back. Wamon then takes us to a new area, Factorial Town. Factorial Town looks like a modern city. Here, we start looking for another rare Digimon and come across a familiar face, Metal Mamemon. He mentions that if he beats us, it will be his 100th win streak, but we make sure that doesn't happen. He joins us. A little further in, we sneak through some guards and meet Giromon, a metallic Pac-Man with a chainsaw, who has gone crazy and is destroying all the computers. We defeat them and they pass out. We meet Andromon, a literal cyborg. He stops the factory machines and gives us access to the sewers. In there, we fight a Numemon, who joins us after beating some sense into it. We return to Andromon, and he theorizes that someone controlled Giromon into destroying the computers to hide some data, but he managed to recover it. It mentions 100 years ago humans appeared in the Digimon Island and fought Digimon. After 10 years, humans lost and disappeared. In the next 10 years, the island doubled in size. After telling us his tale, Andromon joins us. We check on Giromon, who is doing better, and he joins us as well. We try passing by Drill Tunnel, but are stopped by Ogremon. After fighting him all these times, he finally accepts defeat and joins the city. We run into Nanimon a few more times, at Leomon's ancestor's cave, at the Ogre Fortress, in the sewers of Factorial Town, and in the Toy Mansion, where we fought Warumonzaemon. He drops another keychain that increases our item slots again, and runs straight into File City. At this moment, we need another partner Digimon to recruit what's left in the outside world, so we decide to venture into Mount Infinity. The entrance is conveniently right in town. Everything here is made of green cubes with circuits. On the 6th level, we fight Devimon, a humanoid Digimon resembling a devil wearing a latex suit with tattered bat wings. He joins us after being defeated. On the 10th level of Mount Infinity, we fight Mega Draymon, an orange flying dragon with laser weapons on both its arms. We defeat him and he joins us without saying a single word. On the next floor, we see the amazing and hopefully our next Digimon, Metal Greymon, a blue T-Rex with a cyber helmet and wings with claws coming from its arm. We defeat it after a very prolonged battle and it joins us. We make it to the next and last floor, where we confront Analog Man, a scientist-looking dude with glasses and a lab coat. He's upset at us for ruining his plan to control the net world. He summons Machine Dramon, literally a robot dinosaur. It's a hard and long battle, but they can't compete with my insane amount of healing items. We ask Analog Man to leave and ask for forgiveness, but instead, he tries to blow up the island. All of the friends we made send us their energy and stop Analog Man. Airdramon appears from a portal to save us. We are reunited with our friends and they send us back to the real world. We still need to recruit a few more Digimon, like Airdramon, who just joined us. They put a statue of us in the center of the city. We head back to the last floor of Mount Infinity to fight Digitamamon, an egg with legs and bright yellow eyes shining from an opening. We crack him. And he joins us. Sadly, our Monzaemon passes away. We will be going for Metal Greymon, so we choose our egg and embark on our last Digi journey. We start with Botamon, who evolves into Koromon. We take him to Friesland and feed him moldy meat to make him sick. But passes out and Frigimon rescues us. He nags us about our Digimon not being good for the cold weather. So we run away saying we will digivolve Butt into a Digimon who can resist the cold. Koromon then evolves into Agumon, who we feed an insane amount of stat boosting boiled eggs to max his stats. Agumon digivolves into Greymon and then into Metal Greymon. We go to Friesland to show Frigimon our Metal Greymon, who is immune to the cold weather. He says he will join us and sell ice cream in the city. Next, we head back to the mansion where we recruited Bakumon. Inside the mansion, it's huge. We explore a little and find a key inside the chimney a la Resident Evil. We fall through a net in the attic and reach a new room with a coffin. The coffin leads us to a secret room where Meowdismon, a vampire Digimon with a red gala mask and a cape, is passed out. He asks us for food and gives us a key to his fridge, but it is empty. As we're about to abandon Meowdismon, we find some sirloin outside and take it to him. We have a nice dinner together, and as we are leaving, Devimon tells us he hurt Meowdismon and that we should go find him. We take the elevator down to the secret lab and find School Greymon, a skeleton version of Greymon created by Meowdismon but brainwashed by Devimon. We defeat School Greymon and Meowdismon sends him to join the city, marking the last recruitment. This game is very fun, but keep in mind it is a slow game. The battles are slow and you're more of a coach than an active fighter. You shout instructions that give them potions for healing, a lot of potions. Their recruitments are fun, but some are RNG heavy, like Monochromon and Penguinmon. Most of them are good fun battles though. I think the real beauty is actually in the training of Digimon. The training loop is super satisfying. You spend a long time training them at the gym, making sure they are well fed, have good bowel movements, and are well rested. You are rewarded with a beast of destruction and mayhem who will listen to most of your commands. My biggest negative was not being able to save aside from sleeping, but a lot of older games suffer from this. I think this game does have to be played with a guide after a while, as you will not figure out some obtuse requirements like Vademon and Frigimon. Even though the game is old, there is a lot of variety of Digimon, and the Digimon world itself is fun to explore. It is surprisingly big, and I wouldn't be surprised if I missed some areas. I had a blast. I really enjoyed the journey, and thanks for joining me on it. Hey y'all, thanks for joining me. I do all of my playing and recording of the game on my Twitch during the weekends, so follow me there to join the next adventure, which will be Sonic Adventure 2. I will be playing with crowd control set up, so you will be able to interact with the game itself. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. Thanks.